Hello, it's Jilinda here, and I'm down here at my favourite place at the Rocks to do my On the Rocks Reflections video for the month of January that we've just had. And yes, I'm looking a little different in my rain hat today. We're at tropical North Queensland in the middle of a wet event, or a fairly large weather event that's happening up here, picking my times in between the showers that are coming and going. But I just love the energy that's here at the moment. The wind is blowing, my hair would have been blowing if I didn't have the hat on. And it's just beautiful to embrace the changes that happen of each season. And I think it's important to actually look at what are some of the things that's great about these kind of weather events. And for me, it's that energy from the ocean and the wind. It's just incredible. So here we are. We've just finished the first month of a new year. New goals, new strategies, perhaps new me. Yeah, no, I actually like the old me. I like to stay authentic, but that doesn't mean I'm not ever changing and ever evolving. And I think as a change champion, I'm often influencing and perhaps one of the first initiators of looking at choices, looking at chances, new opportunities, and what changes I can make. So when I did the December video, the end of the year one, I shared that my word of the year for this year is latitude. And what I mean by that is I was really manifesting, and still am manifesting, a greater sense of freedom, more flexible options, a greater fulfillment of a more balanced life plan than what I've been having, so that I can achieve broader things, a broader mix of legacy leaving kind of achievements, if you like. What does that mean? Well, for me it meant really looking at how many hours I was spending in an external contract and perhaps not doing some of the other things I wanted to do. I really looked at my balance, my wheel of life balance, if you like, and where are some of the things that I dropped. So I'm particularly focused on having more fun, more enjoyment, more social life, doing more research and writing, which I dropped the ball on a bit at the end of last year, and planning more travel. And I have been doing that through the month of January. Done some travel, but also planning more travel for the end of the year. So in January, what we tend to do is we reset and relaunch. After doing a bit of a review in December and, stopping and resting, we then do this reset and relaunch. And we kind of start the year with really refreshed energy. And then boom, along comes February really quickly. It hits us like a reality check. School's back, projects and deadlines are back, problems and challenges, you know what? They're still there. They haven't gone away. So despite having the refreshed energy and plans to make changes, it's really interesting how we think sometimes this year is going to be different. And it's all right to sort of wish and hope that it's different, but that's not going to make the changes unless you actually put some different actions into place. So I was just preparing for this talk this morning, and there's a funny video that came up on my post. One of my friends was on their feed, and I laughed and I thought, how telling is it? And it's actually like down at the beach here, a fellow that's standing in front of the beach, and he's throwing in a stick representing end of year, getting rid of, throwing away the things that didn't work in 2024. So it's getting rid of all that shit, all that stuff, all the problems and stuff of 2024, discarding it like a stick. So he's got a fairly long stick and he throws it out into the ocean. But what happens, of course, is the waves get hold of it and they bring it back in. And then he picks it up again, he throws it out again, and it brings it back in. And eventually, after about 2 or 3 times, a big wave comes in and sort of brings it back in all the way onto the sand and drops it near his feet. And kind of the analogy of that is, those problems, those things are still there. And what you need to do is actually change what's happening with why those problems and challenges are still there. So it was a real reminder for me on a focus that I wanted to do on this talk is changes, or reflection if you like, a learning that I got from January, is changes actually don't happen unless you put different actions into place. You know, it doesn't work just hoping or wishing or, you know, saying to yourself all the time, I really should do it this way, not that way. But you don't actually do anything about taking it from should to could, would, and putting it in place. So I just thought I'd remind you of some of the things that perhaps you said you were going to make changes at the beginning of the year, and here we are, February. Have you made those changes yet? I've made a couple. I've actually just want to share with you very quickly that one of the big changes I wanted to make is to have more rest, and in that rest, going to bed earlier. What I didn't realise was just how entrenched my thinking was around, and my belief system was around not going to bed early. I mean, I'm in my 60s. I've not actually been going to bed early most of my life. I like to stay up late. I think I can always do more things. You know, don't waste that time in bed. Go and do a couple of extra things before you go to bed. Don't have any trouble sleeping once I get to bed. I'm usually dog tired, of course. But I just don't get the 7, 8, 9 hours rest that perhaps I should. So really interesting for me is how hard entrenched behaviours are to change, and I'm working on that. I've got a couple of strategies, a couple of things where I'm needing to put barriers in place for the things, the old habits that I do, so that I don't naturally go to those old habits, that I'm actually putting in place new habits to replace old habits. So I thought I'd just leave that little tip for you. Have a look at your actions. Are you putting things in place, and are you changing the way you do things so that they stick? Until next time, bye for now.